Ileawiye Okebale Oshogbo owned national under-17 team, the Golden Eaglet, will not be part of the party when the FIFA Under-17 World Cup kick off later in the year. And 4 teams that will be relegated from the Nigerian Premier Football League have emerged after yesterday's games. And this weekend, we have other news coming your way. My name is Adeyemi Abodere. I have Daniel Ekwere with me on the program this morning. Daniel, you are welcome.
Good morning to every sports fan watching right now from all over the country. It's a privilege to be here to talk sports, and talking about the Nigerian under-17 boys. It was a disappointment, and would have expected that the 2-time champions would be able to do it again this time around, but it wasn't. The result was not what we expected. But then still give the boys kudos that they were able to get to this point of the competition. Probably by the time this competition comes again, they will be more prepared and better equipped to see how they can move forward in terms of this competition.
Well, to many watchers of development, they posit that those boys, though they have potentials of going places, of winning the World Cup, but they were playing to satisfy some people, most especially their agents, who have arranged scout, for them to see them play, and that affected their psychology, their mentality.
Well, truth be told, the main objective of any team or any football player is to win games and carry a team along and win as a team. But when you start to leave the main objective to follow your own personal objective, it's okay to follow your personal objective in terms of playing well so that you can be recruited and you can be seen. But you must not forget the main reason why you are there, and that is to win the cup and get results. So now that they've lost now, who are we going to blame? Are we going to start blaming the agents, or are we going to start blaming the coaches or the players themselves? So I feel like maybe misplaced priorities was what cost yesterday's game to go the way it went yesterday. The Nigerian boys would have probably equalized that game or won that game if they had put in a little bit more seriousness into the game, and instead of trying to appease to their agents or trying to get something out of there, because more or less these boys are people that come from backgrounds that are not really well to do.
They're from various football academy, and I think they missed the opportunity to go places. Honestly, this should have been a veritable platform for them to showcase their talent, their potentials to the outside world.
Well, they lost it, because if they had, like you said, shown a little bit more grit and try as much as possible to do what they needed to do to get the necessary win, they wouldn't be in this situation where they are now. And now the issues where they were looking at trying to play for agents and all of that, now these agents now wouldn't want to associate themselves with people who are not doing well, because you have to be at some certain level of professionalism and in football to be able to get signings from clubs and all of that. But these boys, like they're still young, 17, and they still have time to be able to get themselves in order and probably come back next year and see if the competition would go in their favor by then.
Well, they were been overage for this under-17.
We'll move on to the under-20 and let's see. It's not even all of them that would get to go or be in that position, but I'm sure 1 or 2 individuals would have singled themselves out of the bunch, and they'll still be on the radar of the Super Eagles team.
Now we have 4 teams that will be representing Africa at the World Cup, under-17 World Cup: Mali, Morocco, Senegal, and Burkina Faso. Looking at the names, the countries, can we rightly say we have strong teams that will do the continent proud?
Well, I can still put my money on the Senegal team. They have shown that they are a very big side to be to contend with in terms of this competition, and they also show even in the Senegal under 23 and also in the under 20, they've been able to show some sort of relevance in terms of African football, and I can still, like I said, put my money on Senegal to do well and represent the country, the nation, in the international stage.
Yes, Senegal has made a name for itself in the continent this last 1 year. The senior national team won the African Cup of Nations.
That's true.
The under 20 team won the CAF under 20 African Cup of Nations. They won the Chan Nations Cup, and they are on the verge of winning the under 17. They have the best record so far in this competition. And looking at the system adopted by Senegal in achieving this much, don't you think it is time for us, at least, to look that way and copy something that may likely be working for the country?
Yes,
Nigeria.
yes, I totally agree with you. The growth of any team or the growth of any football team needs to be. You look at other clubs as well and other teams that are playing and understand what makes these people thrive, what makes them win, what makes them do well, and try and inculcate those things that you've gathered into your own playing style, into your own tactics, your formation, and get players that are able to fit in all those roles, and eventually get results for your team. The Nigerian side, we're also a very good contender for this competition, but like I said earlier, misplaced priorities was what caused us to miss out on this golden opportunity to probably get the title for the third time. But then Senegal, they've done so well for themselves in terms of football, and after they're under 23, like you said, they won the Chan, and also their under 20 as well did very well for them, and the under 17 are looking as likely possible winners of this one, the favorites, yes, for this competition. Earlier, the Nigerians Golden Eaglets coach was more or less like being skeptical about the boys performance, saying that nobody should like jinx their game and not like push these boys and make their heads swell and make them feel like they are on top of their game when they are really not. They won their first game by a lone goal. They lost the second one, and they were able to by some miracle edge past South Africa in a 3-2 win. And when you look at these results, it shows that there's a lot of things lacking in the Nigerian side, and that just reflected in their poor performance in their games.
Well, it has been a usual thing in Nigeria. We rely on luck, all the time to go.
Even the national team as well. They are not doing as well as you would have expected.
Yes.
A team that has. Funny thing is that the Nigerian side, we have the squad.
The potential.
We have individuals that play in international scene, and when they go back to their clubs, they do wonderfully well. You have like Victor Osimhen, who is the Prince of Naples, helping them to win the Scudetto. We have other boys.
Terry Murphy doing well.
We have the one that plays for Villarreal that scored a goal.
Chukwueze.
When in Villarreal is a beast, but when it comes to Nigeria, the Nigerian team, he just mellows and just plays what it feels like. So I feel like changing ideologies and changing mentalities. Back in the days when Osazio, Derwingate, likes of Tai Taiwo, likes of all those Obafemi Martins were playing for Nigeria, you could see the zeal from these players, this commitment to playing for the Nigerian team. These players would go, and everybody in the whole of the country would be glued to their TV screens to watch. Nowadays, Nigerians don't even watch their own football matches. We only just come and rely on the score lines to see whether we'll be able to move.
Well, people are trying to avoid having high blood pressure because of Nigerian games, and I don't blame them. Let's look at other things happening at the home front. 4 teams that will be relegated from the Nigerian Premier Football League to the lower league. They emerged eventually yesterday.
Well,
we have the likes of Nasarawa United and Air Kanemi Warriors from Group A, and Wiki Tories and Dakada United all relegated to the lower league.
Well, they'll be playing in the National League now, and well, it's a kind of like a wake-up call for these teams. Once you don't do well, you get relegated. It's just like the rule, the standing rule. And the other teams now that have been able to successfully, escape relegation, will be looking to try and improve on themselves, not to be in such position next season. And for this Dakada United, Nasarawa FC, they would be playing the National League, and now is another more or less like another test for them to see if they'll be able to pull out of the National League back into the Premier League, into the Nigerian Premier League. And now let's see how that one eventually pans out. But then, it's like I said earlier, a wake-up call for other teams not to be in such a position. And then for the leaders, Bendel Insurance and Aba FC Rivers United, they'll be looking for them to, let's see who's going to eventually come out, as the emerge the winner. There
will be Super 6 at the end of the day. Yes, because 3 teams in each of the 2 groups will play the Super 6.
Super 6, yes, true.
And Bendel Insurance remains unbeaten in the leagues so far this season.
Well, it's surprising because I didn't see that one coming, but Bendel Insurance, they've shown a lot of grit and commitment this season, and that is one thing that that sets them apart from other teams. Being able to maintain, currently they have the best defense, and when you're able to, and I think the keeper has the highest clean sheet as well also. So when you're able to keep that energy going and flowing all through the number of games that they played, is very impressive. And it's difficult to see teams pull out something as spectacular as this. But then they still have probably 2 or 3 games to go. So let's see if they are able to maintain it to the end of the season, probably to the Super 6 as well.
Let's look at what happened across the Europe yesterday. Europa League and the Europa Conference League semi-final matches were played yesterday. And in the Europa League, Juventus, result for them at home, 1-1 against Sevilla. Would they be able to subdue Sevilla when they travel?
It's surprising. It's really surprising that Sevilla are doing more like magic, because this is a team that is really below average in terms of their own
in the La Liga.
In the La Liga, and in the Europa League, they are playing like they really want this one. And if they're able to get this one, to be a very big win for these Sevilla fans and also for the team. Juventus were not able to, ahead of the Sevilla side in that encounter yesterday, and Sevilla, like I said, are doing everything in their power not to be kicked out of this competition. And so far they're still on a level playing field, of course, currently. So by the time they go to Spain and play against Sevilla, it was the same thing that happened for Manchester United. They were able to use home advantage to level Manchester United and come out to the win. So for Juventus next week, when they go to Spain to play against Sevilla, it might not. Well, I'm not trying to jinx the game, but then it's Sevilla has, like I said, home advantage to be able to edge past Juventus in that one. Given that they already if they can hold Juventus 1-all, in the Juventus home, then in Spain it might be a different ball game entirely.
And Roma managed a slim 1-0 win over Bayer Leverkusen.
Well, AS Roma, Mourinho would be really keen on getting this trophy. If he can get this one, is another advantage and added
possibly is parting gift to Roma
for the Roma side. True. So for AS Roma, they'll be looking to capitalize on this 1-goal lead and get more goals next week and see if they can move on to the finals of this competition. So
in the European Conference League, Fiorentina lost 1-2 to Basel from Switzerland yesterday. I think the result was unexpected.
Yes.
Fiorentina Basel.
Well, they didn't see that coming. And what really killed that game was a late 98th minute goal that saw them move. That game could probably have ended 1-1 in that encounter. But it's just one another beauty about of football. You know, things happen unexpectedly, and if you're not prepared for it, it might just catch you off guard. And that's what happened to the Fiorentina side. But you know, it's still the win is not still, you know, standard. By the time they go, you know, and play the next leg of the competition, it might just be in favor of whoever wants it more.
Yeah, whoever wants it more. And the West Ham against AZ Alkmaar, 2-1 was the result in favor of the Omas. West Ham United.
West Ham, they are more or less representing England in this competition, so it's a win for England if, you know, West Ham are able to move on to the final. They have a, you know, 1 goal advantage over this individual, over the AZ Alkmaar. So let's see if West Ham can capitalize on it next week and, you know, move on to the finals.
And the Continental own Champions League, CAF Champions League. One of the semi-final matches will be played today. First leg, Esperance Sportive de Tunis of Tunisia will play host to the most successful team in the history of CAF Champions League, Al Ahly.
Well, Al Ahly, like you said, one of the most successful team in the history of CAF, and they would be looking again to, you know, capitalize on this one and get. They won this tournament multiple times. And this one will just be another, you know, added trophy to their tallies, and then let's see how that encounter goes. But for Al Ahly, though, it's a good one for them. In the last 5 games so far, they've, you know, recorded 4 wins and just 1 draw. They've not had any loss. While for Esperance, they recorded 2 wins, a draw, and 2 losses. So Al Ahly are well on their way to seeing this one to victory. So let's see how that goes. And
on Saturday, tomorrow, the second semi-final match will comes up. With that, Athletic Casablanca of Morocco will play host to South African powerhouse Mamelodi Sundowns.
Well, I'm a very I believe in the Mamelodi Sundowns team. I've watched their games and they play with so much professionalism, and you know, that's one thing. Well, if it would be a very thrilling game to watch if the finals of this one, you know, comes down between Al Ahly and the Mamelodi Sundowns. It would be a thriller. It would be a very interesting final, and you know, in that kind of final, you wouldn't really say this is the person that is favourite for this one, because these are 2, you know, big teams that want it all. And for Al Ahly, they will just be looking to, you know, get another one to their, you know, to their tally. While for Mamelodi Sundowns, they'll be looking to, you know, probably win this one again, you know, for the first time. And let's see how that encounter turns out on Saturday. And let's look at some of the matches that will be coming up today in the La Liga. Mallorca will be at home against Cadiz today. In the Serie A, Lazio will play host to Lecce. In the Bundesliga, FC Cologne will be at home against Hertha Berlin. And in the League One, Lens will play at home against Reims. That is appearing in the top 5 European leagues. And tomorrow, Saturday, in the English Premier League, Leeds United will be at home against Newcastle United. Aston Villa will play host to Tottenham Hotspur tomorrow. Chelsea against Nottingham Forest. Would Frank Lampard record his second win of his return to Chelsea tomorrow? Last week when the Chelsea fans won their match 3-1, it was like a breath of fresh air for the team, because it's been a really long time since they won a game, and their current form has been just woeful, with just 1 win and 4 losses in their last 5 games. And Nottingham Forest to not far behind, with 2 wins and, you know, 3 losses in their last. For Chelsea, they will be looking to probably, like I said this earlier, whether they win or they lose really makes no difference anymore for this season. The season is far gone, and they will just be looking more to the next season. More or less, these games are just probably warm up for the next season for them. And if they're able to win, well, all well and good. But I don't really see much happening in tomorrow's game. Probably might end in a draw, you know, at the Chelsea end.
Crystal Palace will be at home tomorrow against Bournemouth, and Manchester United against Wolverhampton Wanderers, and Southampton will be at home against Fulham tomorrow. In the La Liga Santander, Real Sociedad will be at home against Girona tomorrow. Osasuna against Almeria tomorrow, and Villarreal will be at home against Athletic Bilbao tomorrow, while Real Madrid play Getafe tomorrow. in the Spanish La Liga. And the Serie A, Salernitana will be at home against Atalanta. Spezia against AC Milan, and Inter Milan against Sassuolo. There's nothing to contest for except for those who will join Napoli in the Champions League slot for Serie A. Napoli have won the Scudetto already, and they are home and dry as far as the Scudetto this year is concerned. Yes, in the Bundesliga, Bayern Munich will be at home against Schalke 04, and Bochum against Augsburg. Eintracht Frankfurt will be at home tomorrow against Mainz. Union Berlin against Freiburg, and Wolfsburg against Hoffenheim, and Borussia Dortmund against Borussia Mönchengladbach. The clash of two Dortmund side, Borussia side, Borussia Dortmund, Borussia Mönchengladbach. And let's look at some of the trending stories. Barcelona have offered new 5-year contract extension to Ousmane Dembele. 5 years.
Well, he's a very, very important, key player to the, the Barcelona side. Funny thing that Ousmane Dembele was a player that wasn't recognized before. But after the emergence of Xavi Hernandez as their coach, he more or less like changed the whole scenario around the player known as Ousmane Dembele, and he became a powerhouse for the Barcelona side, starting majorly in every games and scoring goals for the team. So an extension of his contract was likely to happen, and it has happened. And for Ousmane Dembele, he will be looking to continue his impressive run for the Barcelona side. Try as much as possible to get his name engraved on the sands or on the field of the San Siro, and let's see how that one go. It's a very good one for Ousmane Dembele, and it's a good one for the Barcelona side as well.
Well, on this note, we want to say bye on this morning edition of AM Sport from OSBC Television. I want to appreciate Daniel Ekwere for finding time to be on the program this morning. Muhyiddin Adeleke remained the producer of AM Sports. My name is Adeyemi Abodeni. We thank you for being there, and good morning.